Frankly, I hate to say it, our country is going to hell, and we're not going to let it happen.
As of tomorrow, the renminbi will be considered by the international community as a freely usable international currency and will join the basket of the special drawing rights together with the US dollar, the euro, the yen and the British pound. The expansion of the SDR basket is a historical milestone for the SDR, for the fund, but more importantly for China and for the international monetary system. It is a significant change for the fund because since the euro, this is the first time that a new currency is included to that basket. It is an important step in the integration of the Chinese economy into the global financial and monetary system. The renminbi's inclusion reflects the progress made in reforming China's monetary, foreign exchange and financial systems. The renminbi's inclusion reflects the progress made in reforming China's monetary, foreign exchange and financial systems. Thank you very much.
Well, what will be the biggest impact of a full-fledged currency crisis right here in the United States?
Well, it's important for people to understand this because this is a much bigger deal than the mortgage crisis we saw in 2008. When the currency collapses, nearly everything else will collapse with it. Stocks, bonds, commodities, you name it. The US dollar will ultimately lose its status as the world's reserve currency, and people will reject the dollar for almost any alternative. When you destroy a currency, you destroy the entire economy. You destroy the whole nation. The middle class gets wiped out. The way you live, work, travel, retire, and invest in America, everything is going to change. Some of it's in ways most people can't even imagine.
It is important to acknowledge the fact that as the monetary madness continues on the 3 continents of this planet, some information of what you will hear and see in this video, for some people it will be difficult to comprehend, because it seems totally out of this world and crazy. In other words, in this video and in my new video, the information, it will challenge your thinking to the bone of your mind. The truth is that we are in a great danger. There is a hidden power that exists in this world that wants to destroy us all, and it wants to destroy everything that will be in their way when implementing a new world order. In this video I am going to discuss and show you in great detail, based on my research, 3 key wild cards of the Illuminati. Those wild cards can be used as a weapon to achieve their one world government goal and to destroy most of us. Ultimately, all this might lead to a reset of the life on this earth. Just try to imagine for a moment why the Great Flood happened. What could be the reason? Did CERN and HARP existed before? What do we know about the Great Flood? A magnetic pole shift? Maybe. Or did they use some type of technology before to reset life on Earth? Like the other reset on this Earth that took place in our history. The worst thing in this story is that Illuminati has the experience to reset life on our planet, and that's the scary thing about it.
I want to be clear to those who try to oppose the United States. I want to be clear to those who wish to do us harm. I want to be clear to those around the world who want to destroy our way of life and that of our allies and friends. The United States military, despite all our challenges, despite our op-tempo, despite everything we've been doing, will stop you and we will beat you harder than you've ever been beaten before. Make no mistake about that. Other countries, Russia, China, Iran, and North Korea, went to school on us. They closely watched how we fought in 91 and 03. They studied our doctrine, our tactics, our equipment, our organization, our training, and our leadership. And in turn, They revised their own doctrines, and they are rapidly modernizing their militaries today to avoid our strengths in hopes of defeating us at some point in the future.
Breaking News TV will keep you updated with the real news, where it's becoming increasingly hard to find it on YouTube. You can find all our best videos on Breaking News TV YouTube channel. First, I want to talk about a movie called Armageddon. This billionaire at age 50, he had the opportunity to spend time with the 1% of the 1%. According to this billionaire, the power goes by various names, such as the group, the deep state, or the shadow government, among the others. Those groups worship and serve a god that is evil and opposed to the god that most of us serve. It's not just Obama. In fact, Obama is simply a puppet, according to this billionaire, controlled by those who hold true power. This gentleman chose to make the movie called Armageddon for the purpose to inform and awake people while entertaining them. They made a movie that is fun to watch, and it is based on a very likely scenario for America being attacked by an MP attack, and the survivors being faced with martial law led by the United Nations. It sounds like a real scenario to me rather than a fiction, because war is a necessary part of the elite's global control. In order to establish one world government, Illuminati needs to destroy Putin. Putin is only one obstacle preventing the one world government at this moment in our history. If Putin will be defeated, then the power to control the whole world will be in the Illuminati's hands, and they are prepared to fight for it till the last man standing. The first wild card which Illuminati can use to hold its diminishing power and to win a war against Russia and China is to stop spraying chemtrails worldwide. Just try to imagine what would happen to us all if they stopped spraying chemtrails all around the world at the same time. Simple question: does Russia or China have the technology similar to chemtrails? Illuminati can spray only certain areas or certain territories, and they can leave the rest on this earth to suffer the negative consequences of the sun radiation or even nuclear radiation. I came across the video on YouTube. Unfortunately, it was deleted very quickly. The main point of that video was that the chemical mix in chemtrails could be used to protect certain countries and areas after the nuclear missile or nuclear power plant explosion. It was just the information not supported by facts or by any evidence, because there was no evidence to support those statements. Nowhere are the stakes higher for TS national security than in the field of biotechnology. CIA Director John Brennan claims that advances in genes editing pose a threat to TS national security and may be used to create biological weapons. Recent advances in genes editing that offer great potential for breakthroughs in the public health are also a cause for concern, because the same methods can be used to create genetically engineered biological warfare. And this bit of information perfectly fits in with the zombie apocalypse training. Why there are so many US biodefense labs on the Russia's border? Concern in Russia is increasing over the growing number of hard-to-access, double-purpose medical laboratories financed by the US Department of Defense. Those labs are researching biological weapons, indicating that they are not entirely peaceful. As chemical and biological warfare budgets slash, the US is constantly citing that Russia is a major threat. Russia's top diplomat said that America's opposition to Russian efforts to create a monitoring mechanism for the execution of the Biological and Toxic Weapons Convention indicates that the US may be conducting biological research that is not entirely peaceful. Just try to suspend all your critical thinking and try to picture in your mind what would happen if one morning, instead of spraying chemtrails on the key areas in Moscow, they would spray some biological weapon, which has the potential to destroy our DNA. And immediately after that, there was 5 power plant explosions in Europe. I wonder what would Putin do in that scenario. As we all saw that 40 million Russians were taking part in a disaster drill all across Russia, let me raise this question. What would be the most effective way to destroy Putin? In fact, the answer is very simple. Illuminati needs to destroy something like 3 to 5 nuclear power plants in Europe. I wonder what would Putin do in this scenario. Most likely he would send National Guard to stop disaster and to restore order as soon as possible. What would the mainstream media tell us? It would tell us that Putin has invaded Europe and it's time to respond. And you can guess what would happen next. The second wild card which Illuminati can use to hold its diminishing power and to win a war against Russia and China is to attack and destroy the power plants worldwide, directly or indirectly. On December 20, 1951, at the experimental breeder reactor EBR-1 in the United States, for the first time in our history, electricity was produced by nuclear energy. On this map, when WW2 happened, there was no nuclear plants in Europe. Today we have 185 nuclear power plants, plus 14 new power plants that are being built in the same place where WW2 took place. Illuminati can use different methods and people to create something very bad for us. Illuminati can use different viruses, or even in extreme situations, Illuminati will be able to use HARP or even an asteroid to destroy power plants anywhere in the world. A power plant in Germany has been founded to be infected with a computer viruses, but those viruses appear not to have posed a threat to the facility's operations, because the power plant is isolated from the external internet connection. A German power plant found its network implanted with viruses which could allow remote access to equipment for moving nuclear fuel rods. The major security breach occurred at the Gundre-Mengen nuclear power plant, 75 miles northwest of Munich, after the malware was found on 18 removable data drives. There was a very interesting article on Facebook. Nuclear power plant workers were protesting. At the same time, we had nuclear power plant workers protesting in France, in Belgium and in Ukraine. This is not a fact, but just an information for your thinking. Can some of the nuclear power plants, while everyone was protesting, have been put some explosives there for future use? Then we have another very big and very dangerous nuclear power plant in Ukraine. Experts raise concerns over nuclear waste being stored in the open air at the Europe's largest nuclear power plant station in Ukraine, only 120 miles away from the front line of Ukraine's conflict zone. We have nuclear power plants that could explode in the United States, in France, in Germany, in Belgium and 2 in Ukraine. Is this a coincidence, or it is a very well planned out in great detail scenario of somebody? Wild card number 3, which Illuminati can use to hold its diminishing power and to win a war against Russia and China, is to use HARP and CERN. Does Russia or China have the technology to protect themselves from HARP or CERN? I don't think so. In my view, when the hell on earth will start, HARP and CERN will be targeted first by Russia and China to neutralize the competitive advantage of the Illuminati. Have you noticed that our planet has begun to shake, especially over the past 5 years, like not seen for hundreds of years before? While earthquakes continue to shake the globe, we have flooding in the United States, in Europe, like we had a major floods in the United States, in Germany, in France, in London, in Italy. The other day I was sitting in my chair and I was thinking, what a powerful machine HARP really is. Just think about that for a moment. Many sources on YouTube are claiming that using HARP you could flood all your enemy's territories, or you could cause an earthquake in your enemy's territory, or even you could create a super heat wave in your enemy's territory. India was ongoing a heat wave, which set a new record for India's highest ever recorded temperature, melting bus tires, melting roads of some of the India's busiest cities. Temperatures in parts of western India exceeded 122 degrees or 50 degrees Celsius. the bus tires are melting. Simple question for you. Would it be possible to stay inside the tank for a longer period of time when outside there was something like 122 degrees or 50 degrees Celsius? Do you remember last year we had a heat wave in one of the Iran's cities? The temperature has reached an astonishing 164 degrees or 73 degrees Celsius. Do you remember the heat wave in Russia back in 2010? That heat wave killed more than 11,000 people in a very
and for the international monetary system. It is a significant change for the fund because since the euro, this is the first time that a new currency is included to that basket. It is an important step in the integration. As of tomorrow, the renminbi will be considered by the international community as a freely usable international currency and will join the basket of the special drawing rights together of the Chinese economy into the global financial and monetary system. The renminbi's inclusion reflects the progress made in reforming China's monetary, foreign exchange and financial systems.
Frankly, I hate to say it, our country is going to hell, and we're not going to let it happen.
With the US dollar, the euro, the yen and the British pound. The expansion of the SDR basket is a historical milestone for the SDR, for the fund, but more importantly for China.